Hey everybody. So as you can see, we're having a warm spell. I think we're like 60 degrees or something today. All the snow is melted off. We're still a muddy mess, but it's a good day for trimming the fruit trees. So I thought I would show a little bit of how we do that. Disclaimer, I'm not an expert. This is not my job. I'm just a homesteader who has fruit trees, and we've been taking care of these trees we've been taking care of them for 15 years. We've had this property for 20 years, but for 5 years, we lived down in California while my husband pastored a church. And let's just say that the people who lived here in those 5 years weren't kind to the trees or the house or the barns or anything. So some of our trees are still in kind of rough shape from those 5 years because you can really mess up a tree, and trees don't grow quickly. So you mess up a tree and you're dealing with it for a while. But I'll show you what our trees are looking like and what we do. And I'm going to concentrate today on the plum tree and see if I can get that one all cleaned up. So this is our plum tree. And as you can see, it's not really in very good shape. We actually we didn't think that it was going to make it. We thought we lost it a couple years back. And we went through, 10 years ago when we first moved back here after being gone for 5 years. It was in such bad shape, it didn't produce any fruit for probably 5 years. And we didn't think it was going to produce anymore. We thought it was just a goner. But we worked on it every year. We trimmed it up. There had been a second tree growing right here that had kind of come over and was shadowing it out and basically choking it out. And we cut that tree back. It was just I hate to say trash tree because I'm sort of a sucker for trees, but it was just a trash tree. Meaning it wasn't a fruit tree, it wasn't a good shade tree. It was an invasive species that just kind of got a foothold and took over. But the folks that were here, they did some trimming and they did basically a really bad job. So some of the trees are just really imbalanced, and that takes a while to fix. And then this tree, funny story. Oh, look here. Can you see in the window there? I don't know if you can see. Norman's in there staring at me. Anyway, in 2021, we had our daughter's wedding here on the farm. And we picked this spot right here to have the arbor and have them say their vows, because when we picked it, right there, that's kind of a sad, unhealthy looking aspen tree. But at the time, it was a huge aspen tree that came all the way over, kind of looped over the barn, and it was really pretty, and it had like a secret garden vibe. And then on this side was the plum tree, which came way out this way and was super pretty. And like 2 months before the wedding, I don't even know, it was not long at all, the whole big half of this tree actually fell in a windstorm, and it came crashing down on top of the plum tree and took out this whole half of the plum tree. So that was really fun right before the wedding. But the plum tree, as you can see, is just totally imbalanced. So what we're going to try to do, I'm going to take off this branch and I'm going to trim a bunch of this back to try to get it better balanced, because I don't want it to blow this way in a storm being so off balance as it is right now. So other than that, what you want to do when you're trimming your trees is you want to keep this inside area clear. You want it to be able to get sunlight and not be all bogged down. So like, see these little branches that come up and those are crossed over there. A bunch of those need to be trimmed out. This kind of jumbly mess here needs to be trimmed out. And we'll kind of just go over the top and sort of trim the whole thing down so that it stays a more manageable size and you can actually pick everything. We'll go look at some of the apples and I'll show you what I mean by those. They're a little easier to show. Okay, so here's one of the apples. And if you come around here, so this is the area that you want to keep all cleaned out and nice and open. So like all of these little things, which came up last year after we trimmed it last year, all of those need to come out so that we'll have that open. And then it needs to be trimmed on the top. You just kind of, what you try to do is just kind of, you'll go around and you'll give them a haircut. You'll just bring them down 2 or 3 feet, trimming all those newer growth branches so that the trees are actually easier to pick and to take care of. This one always gets huge. It just shoots way up there. So we'll give it a haircut too. Take it down, honestly, probably 3 or 4 feet. Because last year we couldn't even reach a lot of the apples. See, this one is pretty clear inside. It doesn't have a lot of sucker growth. We did have a branch break on this one, so that needs to be trimmed back better. But like right there, you see that branch right there? That one should come out. We basically just need to clean up a lot of these. It's not super hard. You just have to look at them and try to picture where the branches are going to grow and how to keep the tree balanced and healthy. See, this one has a lot of growth inside. It's a lot of these little guys. So all of these need to come out of there. And it'll get trimmed down over the top as well. I'm sure that there's lots of books you can get on this. I bet there's a ton of other YouTubes where people go step by step and tell you all the reasons. I'm just kind of doing a general overview. So this is another tree that the people that were here, I don't call them renters because they actually didn't pay rent half the time. And squatters just sound so negative. So they really messed up this tree. And this is another one that we thought wasn't going to make it. We've been babying it along. They cut large branches going this way, which kept it all balanced. So this one's also not very well balanced. It did produce a bunch of apples last year though, so it was happier. So I'll go through, I'll trim along the top there. I need to try to clean up this side and try to get it a little bit more balanced so it's not all all the branches this way and no branches that way. That's what I mean by balanced. We need to trim this back a little because it hangs over the deck. And I need to try to do something probably, I don't know. I probably need to take out that big piece right there. But I might get a second opinion on that before I do that. If you cut off something that big, it's good to have something, I don't remember what it's called, but there's like a salve, something you apply to the big open cut on the tree so that it doesn't get disease in through it. It's like a bandage for the tree. But you want to keep your trees trimmed. You want to keep them balanced and healthy. Because a healthy tree obviously is a healthy tree. It's going to make more fruit for you. It's going to look better. It's going to live longer. If your trees get all crowded and too many branches all crisscrossing in the middle, it makes areas where bugs can hang out, and you don't want bugs in your tree because they'll weaken it. They can cause it to die. They can actually make it so that the bark doesn't grow. You don't want that. You want a good, healthy tree. You want to keep the pest load down. You want to keep the stress load down so the tree's not always trying to recover from breaking branches or, bugs eating at it, what have you. It's just better to keep your trees trimmed up, in good shape, and healthy, and then they'll last you forever. And these trees, these apple trees, were here when we bought the place, and they were fully mature and giving fruit, and they've been giving us fruit for 20 years now. The same with the plum tree. Then we've added a lot of other smaller trees. I'll flip it around so you can see. So we've added other trees along here. We've tried to add a few every year. It's cherry, pear, another cherry. That's an apple. This is a peach. This is another peach. Those are the raspberries along the barn there. So I'm gonna go grab my pole saw and get started a little bit on the plum tree, and I'll show you what I do. So this is my pole saw. It is nothing fancy. We got it from Harbor Freight probably 7 or 8 years ago. It's electric. When we bought it, all the schmancy battery stuff really wasn't as inexpensive or popular as it is now. So this one's electric, which is fine. Works great for the yard. And it's actually just held up perfect. So here we go. Okay, so pretty much done what I can do with the pole saw. I need to come back in with the pruning shears and get all these little bitty branches that need to be cut back. And neaten it up. But it doesn't have those heavy branches pulling it that way now. And we'll try to train some of the branches on this side to go more this way. And we'll just cross our fingers that I didn't totally kill it. Always risk. But so far I haven't killed any. So another couple months when this starts to bud out and get leaves, we'll see how it looks.